Today I'm just going to show you the interface and how Blender works and the very basics. So you see, when you first start a new project, you will have three objects visible on your screen in the 3D workspace. This is the cube, the default cube that you can manipulate and make into whatever you want later on. This is the camera, which we'll use for making animations or like rendering images. This is the light, and if we go into render view, it will show light onto the cube, which will be helpful when you make our animations. So first of all, I'm going to show you how to navigate Blender. So you're going to want to hold down the middle mouse button, and this is how you rotate around your 3D workspace. Once you got the hang of that, you can hold shift, and then you hold the middle mouse button, so you can do that. If you hold control and you move your hold middle mouse button and move it up and down, it zooms in and out. You can also zoom in and out with the scroller thing, mouse wheel. So now I'm going to show you how to move the cube around. Up here, this is one way of doing it. There's a move here, which will give you arrows. You can click on those arrows and then move them in the direction you want. Or you can hold G and then move it around, and if you press Z while holding it, you can move it on the Z axis, the X axis and the Y axis. It's the same principle as all of the other objects. Also, if you're not already found the cube, you can press Shift A and it will bring up this thing. If you want to add another object, you can go to Mesh, Plane, or you can add another cube, or you can add a circle, which is basically I think it's the only 2D object. You can add a UV sphere. You can also add a icosphere or icosphere. Or you can, all these objects you can spawn in. And if you want to select everything, you can press A, and then basically you can't, pressing backspace won't do anything. X is to delete, and then you can just click or press X again. So now I have a completely empty workspace. And that is pretty much the basics. Oh yeah, and also if you press 1, you can go to front view. 3 is side view, I believe. I think 5 is the other side. 7's other side view. I think. Yeah, and oh yes, if you have an object. Now I'm going to have a cube actually. Oh, why am I just going to remove myself. There we go. So with the movements, you can also go on to rotate and then rotate it like that. Or Control and Z basically undoes. If you hold R, you can also rotate, and same thing, you can click on the different axes to rotate them on. Scale is the same. No, that's transform actually. You have this blue, which will scale on the Z axis, and then the same for all the others. Yeah. Maybe go back to a cube. There we go. That was scale. This is transform. I think I'm not really sure what the difference is. except, oh, it gives you all of the rotations as well, and that's sort of all of them in one, pretty much. So this is the annotate tool, which I don't think is used that much, but it basically lets you draw in the 3D workspace, like that. I'm actually not sure how you undo that, because oh, there you go, Command Z. This is measure, I guess. Oh yeah, so you can see how high, let's see how high these, so you can see how high things are or low. Oh, okay. Let's undo that, there we go. Oh, okay. This is an add cube thing, which I think you can just click and drag, and it will let you build the proportions like that. And yeah, that's a bit messed up. And also, you see, that's the layout. We have modeling, which is if I have an object and I go into modeling view, I have these corners, and if you click on the corner, you can basically manipulate just the corner itself and not the entire cube, which basically breaks it down. Also, if you want to select different points, 2 points at once, you click on one point, holding shift, click on the other one, so you can see they're both selected. And then you can bring them up to make sort of new shapes that are not in the mesh. So that's the modeling. Oh yeah, you can also, if you go back into modeling, and then if you have Control R, I think, I'm not sure how you do it, but there's a way to add like an edge loop. You see how we have all these corners. You can, if we select all of them, we basically select a face, and if we press Shift D, and we can basically duplicate what we have selected. You can see I had here and here selected, so it's duplicated that into there. So if we just go and delete all that. Sculpting works best if you start with the UV sphere. You might want to make the segments up a bit and add a couple more rings. If you go back into sculpting mode and you drag these out and twice, basically gives you the name of what everything is. So I think the one you're going to use most is the grab tool, which you can also go to by pressing G. And see right now, if we zoom right in and rotate, the tool is very tiny and is making barely any difference. So if we hold F and then move them sideways, we can make it much bigger, which creates a much more visible effect. We also have all of these smooth, which, you know, just sort of smooths it out really. We have the flatten tool. So if there's an inflate tool, if I go to the bottom front view, I can do this, which basically makes it blow up like a balloon. This tool is quite helpful for making necks when you're sculpting people. So if you into the flatten, I'll show you. You can sort of just flatten it, so it's like that. It's quite hard to do that with the grab tool. Well, it is possible, but it's better to use the flatten tool because that's what it's for. There's, I'm still learning the sculpting, but that's all I know for the sculpting. The UV editor is quite advanced. It's just it's like a unwrapping of it. So I guess this is the UV unwrap of a UV sphere. Was it the UV sphere? Yeah, UV sphere. There's a texture paint, which I think you can colour your I'm not sure how that works, but you can colour your things, I think. Shading is for like creating lots of like realistic scenes. Animation is I'll touch more upon animation in the next video. Rendering, yeah, I think I should show you rendering real quick. If we add, so at the top we have render view, and if we see it's quite dark, so if we press Shift A and then go down to light, if we create a point, drag it up a little bit, you see how it makes it light up at the top. So if we click on if we have the light selected and go over to the little light icon here, you can change the power of it and make it dimmer. You can make it a sun, which I think is brighter. A spot is sort of like a spotlight. An area, I'm not actually sure how that works. So that's that. If we add rendering only works if we have a camera, which we can flip to by pressing 0, so we can quickly view what the camera can see, like this. And then G, we can grab it around while we're inside the camera, which I think is quite a cool feature. So now if we press Control F12, wait no, because I'm on Mac, it's Control F12, there we go. So it gives us a Blender render, which is, I think you can like download it to your files, like that. And I think you can also have a Blender render if you have an animation, which I'll show you next time. Alright, bye for now. See ya.